Hello, and welcome to Eastern Geeks Out, an EP Media associated podcast where I'll be discussing news and interesting topics in the gaming and entertainment world. My name is Deforest White, and I'll be your host for the duration of these episodes. It's actually had a little bit of a gap in between last episode and this one. Spring break happened, and then shortly afterwards, there were a whole bunch of announcements that happened, so we'll go ahead and start right off with one that I'm particularly excited for. Nintendo released a new trailer detailing the inner workings of Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes, or at least some more workings as to how the story is going to function. For those of you who are not familiar with Fire Emblem 3 Houses, the Intelligent Systems run game was released a couple years ago, and you played as the character who is now in Smash named Byleth, or whatever you named your character in-game, who was the son or daughter of mercenary Geralt, who was recruited as a professor at Garreg Monastery. And as you accompanied one of three, or I guess one of five, factions within the game, your actions determined what direction the war took, as you helped the various students around the academy and grew your class. Now, that's all fine. The game had a major focus on Byleth as sort of a religious figure and a hero to the world. Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes is going to approach the story from the direct opposite perspective. You're going to be taking on the role of a new character, Shez, who I believe is also a mercenary, but hired by Garreg Monastery to fight against Byleth. So your character from the original game is actually the villain in the Warriors spinoff. As always, the gameplay style is Muso, but the Fire Emblem integrity as far as planning the tactical approach to things still seems to be maintained. The battalion mechanics from Fire Emblem 3 Houses have been adapted to work in the game, and it looks like you'll be able to play as several students from each house. As of yet, there haven't been a complete roster released. However, we do have some screenshots that make it seem as though you're going to play as Monica or Kronya in some capacity during the game. Hopefully, they let you play as Bernadetta, my personal favorite. And maybe, hopefully, this one will have fewer Nazis in the Black Eagles route, or whatever it's being called. Crimson Wind? I don't know. So that's pretty neat. I'm very excited for the game. The approach where the player character from the original is now the villain you battle against. You still choose the gender, by the way. The game presents you you choose the gender for Shez, your player character, as well as Byleth, which the game is referring to by the code name the Ashen Demon, which some of you may also remember was Byleth's fun little name that appears in the background of Little Mac's stage in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So that's pretty fun. I'm glad that they included that detail. Just a fun little nod to the original game as well as Byleth's other appearances. I'm hesitant to see whether they're going to actively follow the story structure of Fire Emblem 3 Houses, because Fire Emblem 3 Houses, this isn't a particularly large spoiler, this was in the trailers of the game, there's a time skip in the middle, where you play through the first half of the game, and it entirely takes place within the monastery, and then a war happens, and there's 3 or so years, maybe more than that, in between, is it 5-year gap maybe? I don't remember, but there's a big old gap. All the characters grow up, they get redesigns, and you show up way off in the future and rejoin the war. If this game follows suit with that, I believe it will be the first time that a non-mainline Warriors series, like a Muso spin-off, is going to approach the topic of a big time skip. I guess you could say Age of Calamity, Hyrule Warriors, sort of breached that, but I think that's kind of a technicality since that's set 100 years before the events of Breath of the Wild. So, all in all, pretty cool. I'm excited. I hope that they make the gameplay loop in terms of how you actually approach battles a bit more stimulating. Really, the only one that I've had like a fantastic time playing has been Persona 5 Strikers, because of the combat system actually like taking inspiration from the turn-based combat of Persona 5 and following suit with all of your moves working the same way in freezing time. Big fan of that. If this game is following in its footsteps and tries to implement more of like the tactical RPG elements that Fire Emblem is known for, then I think that is fantastic. Next up, we got trailers and reveals for Kingdom Hearts 4. I'm gonna be real with y'all. I could not give less of a shit here. However, I will say the game is very graphically impressive. The trailer, honestly, I feel like could have maybe been done a little bit better. The trailer opened with, I want to say, almost like 5 minutes of 2D, like, old Flash animated sprites and chibi art style detailing the origin of two particular characters as they grow up in an academy and become rivals, becoming a Keyblade master. And as someone who is completely uninitiated as far as Kingdom Hearts lore, despite my friends trying to get me into it, I don't care. However, when it actually got to Kingdom Hearts 4 content and was showing off like the graphical capabilities, the game looks really good. I suppose the game that I would compare it to the most graphically would be like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where it's got that like more realistic art style that still lends itself to anime-styled characters, which I feel like is going to make it incredibly jarring when you've got like realistic Sora and then Woody from Toy Story. But I don't know. Maybe we'll just get like a live action Tom Hanks. That'd be cool. Put live action Tom Hanks in the game. Other news, Nintendo Switch, after 5 years of being out, has finally implemented folders. You can put folders on your screen now. You can do that thing that you could do on the 3DS when it launched. I might sound a bit unthankful here, but honestly, this was never a huge concern of mine. I've heard a lot of people clamoring for it, and they're all very excited, and I think that's great and that's cool. I don't think I'm going to use them. If anything, the thing that I miss the most from the 3DS era is the implementation of themes. However, the next generation of consoles doesn't seem to be really focusing on that at all. That is one of my largest complaints about the current state of the PS5, where the implementation of themes would interfere with the artistic integrity of the home screen design. And I don't like that at all. I really wish that you could use your themes from PS4, or at least that they would implement themes specifically for PS5. It'd be neat. It's a real shame having games like KOF 15 come out, where they're like, yeah, one of your bonuses for ordering like the PS4, PS5 version is that you get this theme that you can only use on last-gen consoles. So, I don't know. I am glad that Nintendo is taking a step in this direction and, like, listening to people in terms of, like, what they're wanting and moving it further on. I feel like we could use more than light and dark themes on the main menu. Give me a section in the eShop, Nintendo. Hey, I'll give you money. Or, actually, you know what? A legitimate suggestion. Take the themes from Nintendo Switch Online service-based games, like Pac-Man and Tetris 99, where in Tetris 99, you can, if you have a Nintendo Switch Online membership, you can participate in limited-time events, and if you surpass a certain goal, then you get a theme to put behind the game. And there's also a monetary system where if you collect enough tickets, you can just unlock themes from a series in the back. Make something like that, and let us import, or I suppose export, the themes from that game that, again, is locked behind your online membership paywall. And let us use those for our main menu. It would not be the first time that Nintendo has used, like, existing games to mess with the UI of the console that you're playing on, because on 3DS, Nintendo Badge Arcade was fantastic. A little guy, a little bunny person. You could play these claw machines in various ways, and you were able to get a bunch of little badges that you could put in place of games on your home screen on the 3DS, and it worked perfectly. And I'll just do that. Do that again. Give me Badge Arcade 2. Put the bunny in Smash. Actually, I'm pretty sure the bunny's an assist trophy. But, it'd be cool. After that, I want to talk very briefly, not going to take too much time because this is right on the verge of being related to video games. In Space with Markiplier is released. I don't need to tell you guys who Markiplier is. You already know. However, a few years ago, Mark released a YouTube Red, I think it was YouTube Red at the time, original series. It was just an interactive experience called A Heist with Markiplier. And it was super cool. It's one of those choose-your-own-adventure style games where video plays is very, actually surprisingly high production value. And you choose, one of 2 or 3 on-screen prompts when asked to do a question or approach a situation, and there was honestly an insane amount of endings even just in A Heist with Markiplier. In Space with Markiplier isn't even fully out yet. We only have part 1 right now. I believe part 2 comes out on May 2nd. But already there are so many endings, a truly ridiculous amount of endings. I've been playing around with it for 3 hours already, and there is a lot of content, and it's Mark running it, so, of course it's going to be funny all the way through. Also, a bunch of cameos for those of you who are indicted into the online sphere. I noticed there's, people in the credits that have, specific names on the crew pertaining to their personalities. You got, Ninja Crew for Brian Wecht and Sexy Crew for Dan Avidan, which I think is fantastic. They're Theory Crew because Matt Pat's there. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Everyone's great. Big fan. Next up, Melty Blood Type Lumina released 2 new free DLC characters. One of them is Powered CL, a legacy character from the previous Melty Blood games, as well as a very significant figure within the Tsukihime lore. And as I stated in a previous episode, this game takes place in the same universe as Tsukihime Remake, which as of yet has not been released to the West, so fingers crossed on that one. But it's very cool that she is here. Fan favorite character. Her, big super that she does actually uses a reference animation from the second opening of Tsukihime Remake, which is great to see. I really hope they put the music in the game, too, because those 2 openings slap. But that one I know a bit more about because she's a legacy fighting game character. The other one, Mario? I've never heard of Mario a day in my life. It's not the plumber. I think it might be the church. He is a puppet-based character who fights using nuns on strings. That's it. That's what I know. I don't fully understand. I'm going to be honest, my knowledge of Tsukihime is very tertiary in nature and mostly derived from my experience playing Melty Blood and people online talking about very specific characters. I don't know anything about Mario. I've never heard of him. I've never seen him. His big super includes using one of the existing characters in the game against her will to fight for him because he's connected strings to her. Honestly, he seems like kind of a cocky asshole, but I don't really know what his drive is. I do believe he works for the church. And already people are playing into the Elden Ring meme of no sisters. But I don't know. This is not a character that was made to appeal for me, but he is very pretty. And I do enjoy that. Lego Star Wars came out. I was asked to talk about this one, but I'm going to be honest, I don't really know a whole lot about it. The last Lego game that I played was Lego Harry Potter years 1 through 7, and it was bad. I am in the minority, and I realize that I am in the minority. However, I don't really like Lego games. Lego tie-in games have never been my particular favorite. The one game that I was fairly interested in that Lego released was Lego Worlds, and I don't think that really went anywhere because, like, in terms of actual content within the game, it was a very, very low end. But, I mean, it's cool that it's there. I'm glad people are enjoying it. I've heard lots of people talk about how like good the graphics are. I don't get it. They look like Legos to me. But hey, maybe they're pretty Legos. I don't know. Overwatch 2. Holy crap, we finally got an update on Overwatch 2. We got character introduction videos for Sojourn. I've been getting back into Overwatch recently, getting my May grind on, which is probably the straightest thing I've ever said. And I don't know. There's a lot of possibility here in terms of how Blizzard can approach this game, and Sojourn looks like a pretty neat character all in all. I'm very excited that we are finally getting like a playable black character. I'm sorry, not a playable female black character in the game, because that felt like it should have happened already. And also some Canadian representation, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so she's pretty neat. She's got like cybernetics. She's not particularly on the side of like Overwatch Reformation or Talon. She's just kind of, Overwatch happened. It's done now. I'm out. Peace. And that's great. She's just kind of going around doing kind of a similar thing that Ana did during the time skip, where she was just traveling the world and helping people. And I like that. I like her design a lot. I like the aesthetics of the character. I like the kit that she has. It looks like it's kind of similar to a burst rifle, but with a bit more focus on marksmanship, and that's cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, let's hope Overwatch 2 continues going forward, like improving the roster, improving the gameplay, allowing for more customization in terms of movesets. I'm very excited for reworks. I know Bastion got like a new ultimate that makes him slightly less annoying, but only slightly. I can't abide Bastion, but he did get a hat. So, alright, next up, Blazblue Crosstag Battle, Rollback, Netcode. If we had done this last week, then that would have just gone up the day prior. However, we're a week late, so BB Tag Netcode has been running on Rollback since April 14th on PS4 and PC. As of yet, there are no announcements and no indications that the Nintendo Switch version is going to get Rollback, which makes me a very sad boy. But, I mean, I'll take what I can get. I own the PS4 version. I am primarily a Switch player, but I do own the PS4 version. It's complete. I've got all the DLC. If you guys haven't played BB Tag, I do highly recommend it. Based on how Namco Bandai and Arc System Works have been approaching Dragon Ball FighterZ recently with the release of Lab Coat 21, it seems as though if you support a game as a player base and you continue supporting that game in their library, then they are more likely to continue releasing DLC. And if we can somehow bring back Blazblue Crosstag Battle from the dead and get more characters added to the game, I would be all for that. I know a lot of people complain about the Ruby characters, but I'm going to be honest, that's why I'm here. Big fan. The gameplay is fantastic. It is absolute blistering chaos. I played it at E.G.O. Love it to death. Can we maybe get my girl Taukaka in there from Blazblue though? Can we add her? My dream team from the moment the game was announced was her on one side and Blake from Ruby on the other, and I would really like my cat girls to be together. Please, thank you. All right. Next up, an April 1st announcement that I am very late on. Rivals 2. They did that thing they do where the Rivals of Aether devs just announce things on April 1st as if it's a joke, and then they do them. And they had another Rivals Direct, and the biggest announcement was a direct sequel to Rivals of Aether. For those of you who aren't aware, Rivals of Aether is a platform fighter that is on gosh, I think just about everything at this point. It's available on Xbox, PS4, Switch, and PC. And the PC version in particular, I believe, has received, I think, the most attention because of the lab community that's very prevalent within the game. You can create your own characters and import them into the game, and the internet has had an absolute blast with that. I remember a while ago, like I want to say almost 2 years now, there was the Ronald McDonald craze where people were implementing more and more broken versions of Ronald McDonald into the game. There's the 100% accurate Smash characters series. There's a whole bunch. The game's been like touted by AlphaRad as one of the like highest quality platform fighters available on the market for a good while, and as of right now, they're breaking away from the sprite-based graphics of Rivals of Aether and fully implementing 3D graphics. It is entirely modeled. They have, honestly, really faithful recreations of the 2D animations for the characters that we saw in the trailer. I do have to wonder if the creative aspect of the game is going to take a bit of a dive in terms of how players can express themselves, but that has yet to be seen. They could also very well implement something along the lines of a Mii fighter from Smash Brothers, where you have templates for characters that can be customized, but it wouldn't make sense for like an entirely new like put hitbox here, import sprite map here that you have with the existing sprite-based characters on PC. However, something that I am very hopeful for is the inclusion of guest characters. The original Rivals of Aether, I'm pretty sure, features both Ori from Ori and the Blind Forest as well as Shovel Knight as playable characters, and both of these are like not fan-made. They're like officially licensed crossover characters. And if those two would see a return, that'd be fantastic. I'll go ahead and say as soon as Shantae gets in the game, that's an immediate buy from me. She didn't make it into Smash despite all of my tears, but I will take what I can get. And Rivals 2 looks absolutely fantastic. Best of luck to the devs. So, the Persona 25th anniversary events are continuing. And I gotta say, not a lot is happening. I am a bit worried that they're doing all this lead up and it's not going to lead anywhere. Atlas has been releasing the openings of every Persona game on their YouTube page. And I think the last one to be released may have been the P3 dancing one, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I think they might be leading into something that's going to be like a re-release of the existing games. I don't think they're going to lead into a new game. I would love a Persona 6 announcement in April, but I don't think that is what's happening. I'm hopeful. I know like a few weeks ago I got absolutely trolled. There was like a Persona 5 Black trailer where it was following Akechi, and for as sold as I was on that, it was entirely fan-made. I got. I will turn in my gamer card at the end of the day. I apologize profusely to all of you. I don't think this is leading anywhere. I don't believe I'm going to continue following it on the podcast unless it does lead anywhere. However, on the bright side, this does mean that all of those openings are available online for free, so you can go watch all of them. You should do that. They're very good. My boy Lotus Juice is in them. Big fan. Next up, we got a couple things. I'm going to go slightly out of order here and skip ahead to some more prevalent announcements because I have a review at the end. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 got a new trailer. For those of you who weren't listening last episode, this is my current most anticipated game of anything ever. I am a huge fan of the Xenoblade Chronicles series. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is tied with P5R for my favorite game of all time. And they changed the date, they changed the release date on us, but they did the opposite of what they normally do. Normally, when Nintendo announces, like, oh, we're moving a release date, we got, like, one of the guys from the Breath of the Wild team coming out being like, hey, I'm A.G.O. Numa, and I'm here to tell you that we've moved the game back because we're not happy with it. No, we didn't get any of that this time. Fucking Monolith Software moved it up to July 29th. We are only a couple months away from the release of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and my veins are going to burst. I am so excited. I was unprepared for this. There's like a fusion mechanic. Two characters in your party can fuse into a giant blade version of themselves. They're called an Ouroboros version. The characters that we saw from the previous trailers that were like returning from Xenoblade Chronicles 1 and 2 are actively going to be antagonistic towards your characters in this game. What's with Nintendo and making you fight your friends? I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I'm so excited. Look at all this. I'm a happy lad. In addition, we finally got a release date not like an hour ago for Splatoon 3. It is going to be releasing on September 9th, and it looks good. I mean, granted, it looks like Splatoon, but it looks good. As of right now, we don't really know a whole lot in terms of story. I'm very excited to see where they go, as long as they bring back Marina. Where am I off the hook, girls? Please put them in the game. I would like them to be there. I hope that they are implemented more than they were implemented in the Octo expansion of Splatoon 2, and I hope that they are implemented even more than Callie and Marie were implemented in the like main storylines of Splatoons 1 and 2. Actually, no, you know what? Make them the focus of the third game. Actually, I would prefer it if Off the Hook was the focus. Let me play as Marina. That's what I wanted. Okay, forget Splatoon 3. Make Marina. I would like Marina to be Marina for the Nintendo Switch. All right, cool. Moving on. Among Us. That's a funny word I just said. As of like I think yesterday, they released a trailer for Among Us VR on the Meta Quest, which is a funny thing to say. I think it's entertaining that we're calling Facebook Meta, but I suppose that's what we're going with. And it looks good. Like, it's Among Us. There's a bunch of people. There's a ship. You run around. You kill people. You tell people you didn't kill people. That's it. That's the game. Y'all know Among Us. I don't have to explain Among Us to you. When r/place happened like a week and a half ago on Reddit, the entirety of everything filled with Among Us, including Among Us. So there's really no reason for me to have to explain this to you. I believe in you. You can do it. If you are interested in this, it looks like pretty high quality, honestly. I know there were like already existing Among Us maps in VR chat with like functioning games, but I don't know exactly how chat is going to be implemented in this, if it's going to be like proximity based or if you can only speak during meetings. But Innersloth seems to be working on it very hard, and I'm fully supportive of them. I am very glad that an indie studio got like the recognition that they did, and it is fantastic to see them become like such a worldwide phenomenon, even if people are sick of hearing it. Next up, we got Sonic Origins. Hey, have you heard of Sonic the Hedgehog? Have you played Sonic's 1, 2, 3, Knuckles, and CD? Because if so, do it again. People are very excited for Sonic Origins, but I feel like majority of that excitement might be for the animated intro. It's a very similar style to the animated intro of Sonic Mania. I actually don't know if Tyson Hess was involved in this. I should probably check, but I don't fully understand the hype behind this. I absolutely adore Sonic. It's a childhood like obsession of mine, and I am a big fan of the series. However, I don't I don't know what people are gaining from re-releasing the first 3 games over and over and over and over. It does seem like it's getting a bit derivative at this point. It's cool that we do get like implementation of the Sega Genesis's capability to like put the cartridges on top of one another. That's pretty neat. With originally you had like the expansion cartridge of Sonic the Hedgehog 3, and then when Sonic and Knuckles released, you would put Sonic and Knuckles and slide it into the top of the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 cartridge, and it would make Sonic 3 and Knuckles, which was this complete game. And they also implemented the ability to take that cartridge for Sonic and Knuckles and put it on the previous games. Like, if you put the Sonic and Knuckles cartridge into... maybe I'm getting that backwards. Maybe Sonic and Knuckles was the bottom cartridge and you put Sonic 3 on top. It might be that. I'm not 100% certain. But you could put Sonic and Knuckles and Sonic 2 together, and it would let you play as Knuckles throughout the maps of Sonic 2, which was super cool. And if you try to do it with Sonic 1, you got like a unique screen that said like, no way, no way, no way, and let you play like the fun little blue sphere running around like bonus mini games from Sonic the Hedgehog 3, where you're trying to get all the emeralds, and that was cool. So it's neat that we're getting some like representation there, because those are included in Sonic Origins, as well as, if I'm not mistaken, the ability to play as Knuckles in Sonic 1. However, it's still the same games. Like, they're still re-releasing the first 4 Sonic games. CD's here. That's cool. You get to see Amy, her first appearance, along with like Metal Sonic. That's neat. I don't know what to tell y'all. There's like time travel mechanics. It's super weird. Sonic CD is not a fantastic game. It's got really good music. It's not a fantastic game. One thing that I do hope gets kept in the Origins collection, though, I will be legitimately upset if they remove this. Sonic CD has a sound test room that you can unlock. And through various, like, numbered entries into the sound test room, you can unlock songs from throughout the game, sound effects from throughout the game, as well as a bunch of like little hidden Easter egg screens that have like special messages from the Sega staff. They're like Tails in a car, like just a unique, fun like character art, and I think that's really cool. I love it when developers hide stuff like that, and that's a pretty all around good time. Also, I just beat the first final boss of Kirby and the Forgotten Lands, and it's good. You should play it. Get good at dodging, but like, you should play it. A very brief excursion. I figured I should mention that because I said that I would previously. I did it. It's a good game. It's fun. Now, finally, last topic for today: Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, not the game. It's good. It's a really good movie. It's like not my favorite video game movie of all time, but it's up there. It's up there. For those of you who are wondering, my favorite video game movie of all time is Ace Attorney, the live-action one. It's real good. It's real funny. I highly recommend it. You are going to have to watch a subtitled version. But Sonic the Hedgehog 2 released. Once again, Jim Carrey steals like a large portion of the show here, which I'm 100% okay with, especially considering that he is saying he is retiring after this movie. So that's cool. He actually broke his rule. Jim Carrey has a policy of not doing the same character twice, because when he's done that in the past, it's gone horribly. This time, it didn't. Robotnik is the best part of this movie. It's fantastic. However, Idris Elba also does fantastic as Knuckles. It is excellent. He's got kind of that, like, Thor mentality of, like, I don't know what this thing that you're saying is, but I'm going to, like, treat you as if I am your equal, and you are my equal, and we will be warriors falling in battle together, and no one else is down for that, and I love it. I do feel like it could have been it could have been implemented more naturally. There's some elements of the plot that don't really make a whole lot of sense, like why did that thing with the map happen? But all in all, still a really solid movie. They don't really focus too much on the human characters. There's like one like side plot with a marriage happening that's kind of fun. I actually really enjoyed that, but for the most part, human characters take a back seat here. It's very much focused on Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles. Oh yeah, Tails is voiced by Colleen O'Shaughnessy. That's like really cool. She's been the voice actress for Tails of like I don't actually know how long she's been doing that, but she's fantastic. She runs with it. I don't really know what much to say. She's Tails. She does a good job of Tails. She is the voice of Tails. All in all, I think that the movie does a good job of setting up for future events. I can't spoil. There is a post credits, or I guess mid credits scene that made the theater kind of gasp and like clap excitedly when I was watching with my friend Nick. But I mean, nothing too unexpected here. It's just a really solid movie. I will say though, there is a scene in this movie featuring Jim Carrey as Dr. Robotnik wearing a sexy maid dress. That is not a joke. That is in the movie. You should watch this movie. And that's about all I got for you today. I am glad that we managed to get this in here. I was really worried about scheduling, but all in all, we have some very exciting things coming up. I am looking forward, especially to Xenoblade Chronicles 3. I am giddy. But yeah, if you would like to contact us about anything on the podcast, you can talk to me directly at Deforest_white124 at mymail.eku.edu. You can contact our broadcasting director, Ryan Gumm, at Ryan_Gumm1 at mymail.eku.edu. You can find the Eastern Progress and other EP media-related podcasts at www.easternprogress.com, on Facebook at The Eastern Progress, or on Instagram and Twitter at The Eastern Progress. Sorry, at Eastern Progress, not at The Eastern Progress. That's all I got for you tonight. I hope you have a good day, I hope you have a good evening, and I hope you have a good night.